minutes. Let some other people drop in. I think we're a little light on our group. Hey, Tim.
Gotta watch your language now that we're being recorded.
Aw.
I know, ruins everything, doesn't it?
Hey, Greg, did you get my email about the scheduling at Garvey? Greg Thompson.
I'm just now looking at email later tonight, so I'll catch up with you.
I was just asking about the bodies to move the stuff.
Oh, right.
We have to schedule that daytime sometime.
Oh, I thought you said to move the bodies.
For the recording,
I knew we had something.
Let's clarify that we're not discussing actual bodies.
Yeah. Well, we kind of are. They're the bodies of the living scouts.
No, get it right. Heavenly bodies.
We're actually looking for people younger than us that can lift objects without risk of injury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get the truck for this Wednesday or for the following week?
No, we don't. We can't do it at night. We have to do it in the daytime.
No, I know
That's
that,
but no, it's not scheduled.
Okay, that's okay. That's what my question should have been. Okay.
We want to schedule the people first, then we'll get the truck.
Okay.
Truck's easy. It's the people that's not.
Can understand that.
Well,
if Javier can lift that telescope of his, he should have no problem.
so we got a lot more people than I can see, I guess. There's 24 here. Where are we going?
24 right now,
according to the list.
I guess that's everybody on my screen. Hey, there's Curtis, man. How you doing?
I'm here. I got in. I'm doing good. You yourself?
Good.
Hey, you get to handle it. You get to handle it tonight. I can sit back and just enjoy it.
Enjoy everything.
Yeah,
I will.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get started. All right. Well, I'll officially start the Los Angeles Astronomical Society February 14th, 2022 general meeting. Welcome, everybody. There's a link that, oh, there it is. Not that one. There's a link in the Spencer will put in the chat for door prizes. So don't forget to do that. We'll remind you again a little bit later when we get closer to it. The announcements, I'm not sure what do we want to announce. Most of the announcements kind of come with the committee reports. The news I have would be about Garvey and about Wilson, and those can both be in committee reports. So I guess we could just start. Curtis, you want to start with Ford? What's going on? You're still closed, yeah?
Yeah, Ford's closed. The last report we got is Greg was able to get in there before the major snowstorms hit. He was able to get in and said everything looked okay in there, and he checked all of the repairs that he did late last year, and everything looks to be good. He put since the first snowfall, the forestry put a lock on the gate, and Greg put our own lock back on there. So we've got an LAAS lock on the gate now. So we're good, and probably next month we'll probably start putting some plans together for Ford. But like I said, we're basically shut down until probably March, or depending on the snow conditions.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, I don't see anybody for Lockwood. Dave, do we have anything for Dave Yakuza? We don't have anything going for outreach yet, right? We're just kind of waiting for schools to decide whether they're going to invite us again.
That is correct.
Okay. Do we know what their plan is? Do we have any idea?
What my idea right now is, I know that I think once their masks will be coming off of LA Unified, my understanding at the end of the month. So hopefully that'll start opening some things up for us for outdoors. My plan is to get a hold of the science instructors at the LAOSD level downtown Los Angeles. There's about, I think, 6 or 7 supervisors that will be able to contact. And I have a flyer I created for them to send out to them to let them know about our program. So hopefully that'll get us a lot more outreach.
Well, we've got to be careful about doing too much because we don't have enough people to cover a lot of things. We've got to make sure that we have people that can cover. Like if we want to do more than a couple a week, the same guys can't go 2 or 3 times a week. So.
No, I understand, but we usually have a core guys. Like I say, there's at least for sure 5 of us. Always go to every one of them. So.
Well, I'm hoping that some of our new members will come to Garvey and find out about doing outreach and how we do it there and bring their telescopes. And let me introduce Danny Zeddy. I noticed that we have a new member, and tell us a little bit about Danny. How'd you find us?
Basically the internet.
Oh, wow.
I'd done a night at Mount Wilson on the 60-inch telescope, and I believe somebody told me while I was there that your organization had some people up there, and so it got me thinking. So I just went on the internet and looked you up, and it's just a variety of stuff you do. A very, very active club you have there that I was totally impressed by. So I said, yeah, I think I'll join that operation because you do so many different things and so much variety there, which is great. So a little bit talking about myself, and I'm going to date myself heavily here.
Don't worry, there's lots of dates here.
Well, my first entry into astronomy was around 1966 when I got a 4 1/4 inch Edmund scientific reflector.
Good old Edmund.
I don't know if any of you have seen that thing. Compared to today's scope, it's very archaic, but it did a pretty good. It looked at Saturn, and it did a pretty nice job for back then. Actually, I wish I still kept it, but over the years it got lost. I'm a native of Michigan. The difference between Michigan and here is that here you have clear skies 80-90% of the time there. Well, in the winter, you'd go 6 months and be very rare to have a clear sky. What did I do for the last, since I left university? I was a CPA and worked in finance for the last 44 years. Unfortunately, you get past that 65, and so I retired a year ago, and I still keep my hand in. I do a little consulting here and there. My old company still asks me sometimes to do things, but now I've got the time to pursue other things like astronomy, which is a fascinating area because it combines so many different things, as you well know, photography and astronomy and optics, and it's just an interesting area of endeavor.
Do you have a telescope now?
Yeah. I've got a 81 millimeter Williams refractor, and I've got a 120 millimeter Orion. Got a couple of ZWO, astro cameras. And
Let's see, you're outreach recruit, man. We need you to come to show up at Garvey and talk to me there. And when schools start opening up again, we get a lot of requests, and it's going to be probably pretty big because people haven't been able to do it for 2 years. So I think if we open it up and say yes, we can. Need the bodies to go out there. Oh, here I am with bodies again. Our members.
And I've got a equilateral tracking mount, and I do some guiding occasionally. So I've got it all set up. It works pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with the technology that exists today. That when I first got into it back when I was a teenager, I mean, there was nothing like this. You had to go to professional astronomers to see the stuff that you're seeing today.
Well, tonight you're going to find out another new thing when we get to our speaker. So thanks for the intro. Any other new members? Nobody else here?
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me tell you what's happening at Garvey. We're doing a big upgrade there for the telescope in the dome and a big cleanup, making it just a whole lot more accessible. It's the place where we meet the public the most and do the most consistent outreach, because it's every Wednesday if the weather's good, and even if the weather isn't, we're open, people can come in. We're working on getting the entire building open. We're still limiting people a little bit to the shop area because it's in transition. But the dome is open and the guys are doing stuff up there, and we have people go up, limited number with masks on so far. And the telescope that's there is an 8-inch refractor, and we needed a new mount for that. So last board meeting, we allocated the money and we got the mount, and I'm going to drop it off over there Wednesday, and then we'll probably have a while to figure out a couple of things. First, we have to find out if the existing plate on the pier is going to match anything that we have today, because that one was made, I don't know, 50-something years ago, I think. So we may have to do a machining, it's a little bit of machining, which we can do in our shop downstairs. So that won't be a problem. But we got to take it apart. I don't know. I'll have to ask Vance what he thinks as far as the timeline of how long we'll be down before we're back up again. But when we are back up, it's going to be a whole lot better. They're taking a whole lot more time now to find objects, because what they're doing in Garvey is they're imaging deep sky objects in the middle of Monterey Park, and they're getting some fantastic images. They're just really hard to find to begin with because you can't see them at all. So Dave Nakamoto is really good at star hopping, and he'll star hop to where they think it is. And a lot of times they're there. He's pretty good at that. So they'll start exposing and they got it. So it's good.
Hey, Daryl?
Yes, sir.
Daryl, I got a comment. If you need any assistance out there at Garvey Ranch, I can talk to Jeff Schroeder.
For what?
He's the mount.
No, I
being able to mount-
think
being
Vance
able
has
to put
got
the mount
Vance has
in.
got the whole thing figured out. I think. I mean, he knew exactly what he wanted. So, and it's not
Okay.
the telescope is not heavy.
I'm talking about
Okay.
the interface plate you were talking about. Jeff may be able to help if you need him.
Okay, cool. Like all the
Yeah,
help
he's
I
a
can
good
get.
guy. Okay.
Excellent. All right. Tim, do you have any news about Mount Wilson that I don't know?
No, I think we have this. You've already set up the 60-inch, 100-inch schedules and dates, and I haven't seen an answer yet on the question about public star parties.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the concurrent star parties. We'll figure that one out. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've locked in all of our 60-inch dates for the year, and we have one 100-inch night. They're all half nights. They're all on Saturday. The winners of the astrophotography contest, their prize was a half night on the 60-inch to use their cameras. So there's only going to be 6 people there for that night, just the winners. And we also decided that we would let them have first pick of the nights. So we just got the dates. So we're letting them know what they are. They're going to choose among themselves, and we'll figure out what's the best date for all of them. And then once I have that, then I can open up the calendar for other people to start booking for the year. And the first one's April 2nd. So we got plenty of time even for the first one, and then pretty much one a month. I think that's about it. We're trying to do concurrent star parties outside in the upper parking lot, which worked really well. I was going to say last year, but I'm sorry, 3 years ago.
Pre-COVID.
It worked really well. People really liked it. A surprising amount of public showed up. And it's just a lot of fun. So it doesn't cost us anything other than our members' times, which they're willing to give. And we make a little money because we ask for donations when people drive in. And I think what we're doing now is we don't take all the money because we're doing it at Mount Wilson. So we split every other time we do a star party with them.
Daryl,
Yes.
I'll mention that we are planning on doing the astronomy merit badge out at Garvey this summer. There'll probably be 3 classes on Wednesday nights during the summer break from school for the scouts. As usual, I'll post out the opportunities for people to come and help or set up a telescope on the lawn that the scouts can look through on those nights. It's part of the requirement of the
Okay.
badge.
Do you also request the nights from the city, or do we do that somewhere else?
When we first started doing it, we had to let them know we were going to use the classroom. So I'll check with Tim on that if we still need to do it, because I don't think that the karate class has been meeting, so there hasn't been any problem. And we've basically been closed for almost 2 years now. So,
Right. When we
but yeah,
needed the
that's-
room, when we needed the room, Tim, how did we get it? Just notify them and see if the date was available?
Yeah, you can go through Robert or just go down to the city hall and they have some sign up thing. At least they used to, but we can go through Robert. And I think what we ought to try to do if the karate class isn't meeting is do what we had done before or tried to do before and just have control of that room every Wednesday night when we're there
Oh yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Well, let's bring that up with Mr. Gier.
Yeah.
Tim, you could verify that, but I think they told us we do have it on Wednesday. We asked them a couple of years ago to get it on Wednesday and we got it.
Okay.
The
Yeah, I
full
think-
time we need it on Wednesday night.
I think we do, but we might not have had it early enough for the scouts.
No, I think we arranged to get it at 7:00 or whenever the scouts were,
Yeah.
when we needed it. And I think that was already prearranged, but we can verify that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. We got plenty of time, but it's that kind of thing that getting done ahead of time will be really helpful. I know when we were actually able to do it in person back in 2017, 18, and 19, it was very popular. I'm already getting emails from people asking to sign up, and I haven't put out a flyer or chosen any dates or anything yet. So it's a very popular program, and we'll
Good.
get that scheduled.
All right.
Thanks.
So that, is any Lockwood person here? Nope, just not. Okay. I guess I can do that one. There's really nothing happening at Lockwood either. It's been too cold. I don't think we did I don't think we've done the first star party this year out there, the first dark sky night. It's been too cold or muddy or both. So
Actually, we did one earlier, and there were only 6 people showed up.
how early was the first one?
Geez, that was near the beginning of January, I think.
Ooh,
Yeah, it was cold.
you guys are hardy, man.
Yeah.
It got down to about 23 degrees, and I bailed.
Yeah, see, that's why I left Chicago. I don't want to do that.
But there were only about 6 people showed up, and it was started overcast, and then it cleared up right about 8 o'clock or so. It cleared up, and it was a beautiful night, and so very clear, very crisp.
Okay, good.
But we do have just a little bit of information. We got our Starlink antenna, so we should be getting that set up on Starlink in probably sometime in March.
Great. That'd be good. I'm curious about that. How long did it take us how long ago did you order that, Spence?
11 months ago.
Okay, so they're still pretty behind on that. All right.
Yeah.
But now we can maybe talk about doing a virtual event out of a Lockwood, you
Right.
know,
Mhm.
with live viewing with real sky. That I think that has real possibilities to.
Well, that's our goal for both places. I mean,
Yeah.
the other thing that we are approaching the city in Monterey Park is, Tim and I are going over to talk to them and saying, we need a high-speed internet connection there so that we can do what we're doing. We put the new mount on, we got a fantastic telescope, and we're doing deep sky. We would like to be able to send that out. So.
Okay. Well, you can tell them that, when I did the astronomy merit badge classes during COVID, on Zoom from my house, which worked, but not great.
Yeah.
It'd be much better to do it from our home site.
All right. Well, that would be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to move along and we'll introduce Pablo. I'll let Spencer.
Yeah. So actually, I want to put in a plug for the Dark Sky Petition.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the link is there. So we're almost at 500. We'd like to get somewhere near. We'd like to get something in the thousands before we hit the county board of supervisors with this. And
Okay, and
also-
on that note, let me stop you right there. Everybody here should go and do that and tell everybody else they know to go and do it.
Mhm, right.
I mean, just the 32 people here, if you spread that just a little bit, that's going to be hundreds really fast. So let's use our membership to do things. We have a little over 800 members. So if we can get everyone to do something all at the same time, pretty strong.
So we're also getting the some support from, I think, the Audubon Society is interested in helping with this effort, and there's one other environmental group
Good.
that's interested in it. Mhm. So
Okay.
okay, so anyways, there's the blurb on the screen, and there's the link. So please sign up for that. And let me repeat the for those who joined late. Here's the petition, or here's the link for the drawing. Okay, so I'm done.
All right.
Okay, so this is Pablo's our guest speaker, and here's his bio. He's a retired airline pilot and ham radio operator, active citizen scientist, astronomer, member of several groups, including the LAAS, Society of Amateur Radio Astronomers, and American Association of Variable Star Observers, and has a fully operational research level observatory in Glendora. So the topic is how to build a fully functional hydrogen line radio telescope capable of detecting the passage of our galaxy's arms, including visualization of the Doppler shift caused by the movement of the galaxies. And so all this for less than $300. So Pablo, you want to take it from there? Want to add anything else?
No, it's
I'll
perfect.
stop sharing. I'm going to stop sharing.
I'm going to share my screen then. Let's see. Screen 2, share. And then I'm going to just switch the settings here. Okay, I hope you can see that now.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Okay. As you very well mentioned, this is all about building a fully functioning radio telescope. It's going to be mostly visual. It's going to be very little science to this presentation, and you need no radio or engineering background to build this, and for actually less than $300. I've been doing this for over a year. I've upgraded, and I'm going to show you how to upgrade it and actually get a couple of targets out of this deal. And anybody can have this. It's great for outreach and for having right next to your little telescope. And without any further ado, my background, you already said my background, so I don't have to say any more about that. The scope of this presentation is limited to beginners. Just to build this inexpensive and radio telescope for the purpose of fun, outreach, enjoyment, limited research purposes. You're actually going to be able to do a little bit of research, but not much. I mean, you're not going to be able to discover anything with this little antenna, little dish. Even with a 2.1 meter antenna, which you can get for free anywhere, you're still not going to be able to do any research. But you're going to be amazed by the results that you can get with this system. A little bit of background information. Radio telescopes, nothing more than an antenna, and objects in the sky usually create radio frequency like a radio station, and you're able to pick it up. Normally, to have a radio telescope, you have to have a 25 meter, 100 meter antenna, but to do some real research, and it's just like a big like a visual telescope. I mean, if you want to do some really serious research, you need aperture. In this case, for a radio telescope, you need aperture to have beam width that approximates a pixel. For the kind of work that we're going to be doing, the radio telescope that I'm going to be telling you about, the beam width, the pixel, it's going to be about 27.5 degrees. So it's very wide, and you're not going to be able to do much pinpointing. With 2.1 meter, it's a 7-foot antenna you can get for free. You can get down to about 7 degrees. I don't want to get too much into numbers. Let's talk about a little bit about the electromagnetic spectrum. And the reason I'm doing a little bit of this, so those who are beginners can understand what this little system can do and cannot do. People like Tim Phillips and others, you don't need this. You can go sleep now because you can teach me. I'm not a scientist, and I'm just a tinkerer and an amateur. The electromagnetic spectrum, basically we can you see the mouse here? When I go like
Yep.
this?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, as amateur astronomers, we can only do visible. Maybe a little infrared, that's for the James Webb Space Telescope. Ultraviolet and X-rays, you have to get out of the, pretty much out of the Earth, gamma ray. Microwave, and this little system will be able to detect in the radio spectrum. Radio is just another form of light, which is part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Whenever an electric charge changes speed of direction, it gives off an electromagnetic wave. And how fast the wave wiggles, that's the frequency. And that's basically it. These are examples, and by the way, John Wallace, another radio astronomer, gave me some of these slides that he prepared, so I want to make sure that I give him credit, and it's already written out there. This is what the radio sky looks like in radio frequencies. Infrared, this is us, visible light, X-rays, and gamma rays. Just so you get an idea what this is all about. There are many objects that you can detect with a radio telescope, not this one. I'm talking about the big ones. Black holes, interstellar gas, we're going to be able to pick up with this little radio telescope. Pulsars, unless you have a tracking mount, just like on your typical visual telescope, chances are you're not going to be able to pick up any pulsars. They're very, very weak, and they're measured in seconds. The stuff that we're going to be able to pick up, it's measured in days. It's going to be able to integrate like stacking pictures. That's what the system's going to do. Solar flares, not going to be able to pick up, but you can detect the sun with this. And mostly you're going to be able to pick up microwave and radio. So anything that gives off heat gives off radio waves, and the system's going to be able to do. Why get into radio astronomy? Because you can do this when it's raining. You can do this during the day. You can do this 24 hours a day. And 65% of our current knowledge of the universe comes through radio astronomy. And this will give you an opportunity, as a beginner opportunity, to just dip your toes into the radio astronomy world. No great discoveries. It's not going to be super exciting, but at least you're going to be able to show your neighbors and kids in schools the passage of the Milky Way. We're interested in 2 frequencies, and actually 1 with this system. Eventually you can be able to upgrade, and I'm going to show you how to upgrade. We're interested in 1420 megahertz on your dials, like 97.1 FM on your dial. This is 1420 megahertz. That's the frequency for the hydrogen line, for the hydrogen photons. And also 1667 megahertz, that's for oxygen and hydrogen. And when you combine those two, you can detect water. But basically, with this little system, you're going to be able to detect hydrogen in space. A little history, and then I'm going to get into how to build this. This science started in the 30s with Karl Jansky. He was on the staff of Bell Telephone Laboratories, was asked to investigate the sources of noise that was interfering with radio voice transmission using shortwave radio in the 40 to about 15-meter band to transmit, actually it's 30 meters, to transmit telephone calls overseas. It was expensive, so people wanted better transmissions. And after recording the signal with this antenna right here, he identified thunderstorms, distant thunderstorms, and a faint, steady hiss of unknown origin. With this system, you're going to be able to hear it too. He spent over a year investigating the third type of static. Eventually, through waiting for a long time, he noticed that every time the Earth rotated, the hiss disappeared and appeared again. So he found out that it was extraterrestrial. The signal was not coming from planet Earth, it was coming from space. The discovery was widely publicized. He wanted to follow up, but nobody paid attention to him until when? A ham radio operator, the real father of radio astronomy. I know there are at least 2 ham radio operators watching this because I saw your call sign. He actually, Grote Reber, or Reber, I don't know how to pronounce this name, he built the first working radio telescope of his design, which is, to this day, this kind of design is being used. And you can see the picture right here. He built it in his real backyard, okay? And you can tell because here's the fence to his neighbor, right here. So not only was he a part of being a radio astronomer, but the neighbor didn't complain. So I guess he was part of it too. But he built the dish in 1937, and he was the one that observed the skies with scientific purpose for the first time, thinking that that frequency was thermal from heat, but it actually found out that it was actually a synchrotron transmission, non-thermal. And if you don't know what synchrotron is, radio galaxies are synchrotron sources emitting as a result of jets that are powered by active galactic nuclei, blah, 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 blah. It comes from space. He was the only one for 10 years. And of course, you've heard of the WOW signal. The WOW signal was strong narrowband radio signal detected in 1977 by the Ohio State University and Big Ear radio telescope, and it was used to support the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The first signal that they thought it was from extraterrestrial intelligence came on this frequency, which this radio telescope is going to be able to pick up. You won't be able to pick it up with this little radio telescope, but it's the same frequency, and that's why I brought this up, so you can understand the importance of the hydrogen line. Hydrogen, as you all know, is the most it's the matter that it's all over the sky. It's all over outer space. So you can always detect it, not only from the galaxy, from the stars as well, and from even empty space. Okay, one more piece and then we'll get on with this. If you don't know what the hydrogen line is, here's a brief explanation. Hydrogen atoms randomly emit photons at a wavelength of 21 centimeters. That's a frequency of 1420.4058. Normally, a single hydrogen atom will only very rarely emit a photon, but the galaxy and even empty space is filled with many hydrogen atoms. So you're going to be able to detect with this little system a lot of the stuff out there. You can also measure the rotational speed of our galaxy by noting the frequency Doppler shift. And you will see now on the next slide the Doppler shift that you can detect. So without any further ado, enough of the show. What does the system look like? This little antenna here, it's a parabolic grid. It's a Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz antenna, which you can get for about $50, $60. It's going to be connected to a low noise amplifier, which you can get for $37, and then to this little SDR receiver right here, which is about 30 bucks. All of these elements connected to a computer, and this is the display. This is Stellarium, which you can get for free. This is the receiver, the SDR receiver. You're going to be able to get results such as this. You'll be able to see the rotation of the universe. And by the way, the center of the display right here, that's the antenna pointing up. As the antenna or the galaxy drifts over the antenna, you can see the detection right there. With this little system, you can see two detections actually, right here and right here. And if you look closely, you're going to be able to see how this thing moves back and forth. When it moves to the right, that's a higher frequency. That means that it's coming towards us. When it moves away, it's redshifted. Part of the galaxy is moving away from us. And you're going to be able to detect that and make a little movie out of this thing. And oh, by the way, look at this. There's another detection. This is a very simple system. Right here in the middle of nowhere, you can detect hydrogen. And as the galaxy gets closer, the galaxy arms, you can see right there, another detection. Not very exciting, but I'm going to show you something that it's more exciting with this system, but upgraded. Okay, now you got Cassiopeia A, which is 11,000 light years away. You have Cygnus A. What I did is I improved on this system, and I added a 2.1 meter antenna, and then I also added another low noise amplifier. Remember, you need the antenna, a low noise amplifier for that frequency, and a receiver. I added another one in between and the big antenna. And this is the results that I'm getting. And by the way, that extra stuff cost me a couple of $100. This is my system. This program's called Radio Eyes, which is like Stellarium, but for radio telescopes. And this allows me to find the elevation and azimuth of different points in the sky. As you can see the signal here, it's a lot bigger, and you can see different parts of the galaxy, and you're going to see it move. Once again, the frequency is 142405, and and you can see the signal right here. You can also hear it, and you'll be able to actually get data, spectra out of it, to start building a picture over days. But let's look at this. I'm going to start moving this antenna. I'm going to point it to Cassiopeia A, Cas A, right here, which is a flux of 36,000 Janskys. A Jansky, like Carl Jansky, is a measurement of power. So now I'm going to move the antenna. Look at the, right here, the antenna. This is for a system that I built myself. It's not a professional mount. Okay, and now you can see it over here, and you can see the detection. And not only can you see Cas A, but you can see the Doppler effect. And also I'm catching part of the arm of the galaxy right here. All from my backyard in Glendora, California, in Los Angeles County. And now I'm going to point it to Cygnus A. It's a radio galaxy and one of the strongest radio sources in the sky, which is, I forget how far it is. Maybe Tim knows, but it's pretty far. It's a galaxy. So, and by the way, before I go on, let me explain what this is. I have a detector here. I have an accelerometer, and which is only $35. which has a magnetic direction, and it measures also azimuth and elevation. So with this control, and this will tell me, I can go ahead and point the antenna to where it's supposed to be pointed. Now, this system works on stacking. In other words, it receives many spectra and adds up. You can still see that there is the signal from Cass A, but pretty soon you're going to see that that disappears and Cygnus A starts coming in. Okay. That's what you're going to be able to do with this system after you upgrade. Basic scope in a box, it requires this antenna, this SDR, and a low noise amplifier. The antenna is not cut for the frequency. It's 2.4 gigahertz. You need 1.4 gigahertz, but still works. In fact, I've had some serious radio astronomers unbelieving that this works so well. You're going to have an SDR, RTL SDR, which is this receiver here, and it has a bias T. For months, I didn't know what a bias T was. Basically, a bias T means that this SDR, which is connected to your computer through USB, receives radio frequency signal here, but at the same time, it can power with DC an amplifier. So you don't need an extra cable. That's what bias T means. And you're able to do that from here. In an off-the-shelf LNA, low noise amplifier. Okay, I want you to write this down because you're going to need it. RTL-SDR.com, and you can Google cheap and easy hydrogen line radio astronomy with a RTL SDR Wi-Fi parabolic blah blah right here. When you Google that, you'll get to this article. This is the article that I use to build my first radio telescope, and everything that you need is there. Then for $29, actually $30 plus tax, you buy this RTL SDR. Now, there are many SDRs. There's Newelec right here. But I found that this is the best for this type of radio telescope. It's the most sensitive. Then for $38, you can get the low noise amplifier. This is wrong here. It says $45. You can actually go to OfferUp or eBay and get them for $10. And then you can go to eBay and get this antenna, and you're done. This is how it works. For those of you who don't know electronics and are afraid of building this, you connect this to this with a cable. You connect this to the antenna with another cable. You plug this into the computer and you're done. You have a full working radio telescope, and actually for less than $300. The software that you're going to need, it's going to be on that in our article. It's Stellarium, which is a free planetarium, and most of you already know it because you're visual astronomers. SDR Sharp, which is this program here that makes this work. It's a receiver. Chronolapse. This is very useful, even for visual astronomy, because when you're actually getting pictures and you want to record everything that's going on your computer screen, you get Chronolapse, which is this program right here, and you're going to be able to record this whole thing and make a little movie and share it with friends. If you want to spend a little money, Radio Eyes, it's optional, not free. It's a typical, and this program is fantastic because it will allow you to do drift scans for a day. So you can actually scan the skies just like all the big radio telescopes do. And eventually with the data, build pictures of the radio sky. Just like visual astronomy, radio telescopes need calibrating files. And the way to do this is that you run this system with the antenna disconnected and a little 50 ohm load you can buy for $10, and until the calibration is done. And then you connect it to the antenna, and then anything that receives is going to be extraterrestrial. It's not going to be any of the, so that's a calibrate, and most of you are familiar, as I am, with calibrating files because you use it in normal visual astronomy. This LNA also comes with a built-in switch that actually switches the antenna connection to that 50 ohm load. And you can also do that remotely, which is what I did, but it could be a little too much for beginners, so you don't have to worry about. You can also calibrate the system. There are times of the day where there's no galaxy and there's absolutely no hydrogen, no signal, no meaningful signal, so you'll be able to calibrate it even without disconnected from the antenna. But if you want to get serious about it, you can do it. This is another view of the basic system. You can see a detection right there. This could be daytime, this could be nighttime, it could be in the middle of the rain. And as you're getting this data, there's a section here that you can actually write the spectra and record it. Oh, by the way, look at this. It's actually detecting hydrogen in the middle of the space without even the galaxy being there. But as you get closer and closer, look what this little thing does. And you can see the movement back and forth. And this is what the little system without the improvements. Okay. Improvements to this system, in other words, if you want to increase the signal to noise ratio, first thing I tried was aluminum plate, aluminum foil, and it's great for grilling hamburgers, but it didn't work. But mesh, 1/4 inch mesh, chicken wire, actually improved the system substantially. The next thing you can do is you can buy another LNA, another linear low noise amplifier. It doesn't have to be, it's better, but it doesn't have to be the one for that frequency. It can be a wideband like this one here for $20. I've tried it and it works. If you're going to do that, then you're going to need another power source for the second LNA. And in between the two LNAs, it took me a long time to find out, you're going to need a DC block between the two of them. It's a little device that allows radio frequency to go through, but no electricity, no DC, because that screws it up. So that really makes it better. Of course, if you can get a dish like I did, so much the better. Bigger is better. And I'm going to show you where you can get them for free. Probably already know. And if you get one of these, then you're going to have to build a secondary mirror. And that's called a feed horn. And it's extremely easy to build. If I can do it with no mechanical skills, anybody can do it. So, the results that you can expect with this system, you can get the galactic H1 line, a visual display. You can make a movie of this. You can get raw data collection. This is a picture of the raw data file, the spectra, as it is called. It gives you the frequency. It gives you the flux, the amplitude. And with this and a program that another radio astronomer makes, you can eventually build a radio picture of the galaxy. And by the way, here's another video that shows you I'm in the middle of nowhere, and this is beginning, it's already picking up hydrogen. But as it gets closer, and by the way, these are pulsars. Chances are you're not going to be able to get pulsars. Pulsars are pulsing radio signals from neutron stars that are, okay, look at the signal here, and look at the signal here. This is with the improvements. And let me go a little faster because you don't want to. And you can see a picture. I have a live video feed of the day, so this is a couple of days worth. Now look at this. As it gets closer to the galaxy arm, now do you see? Look at this. It moves to the left to lower frequency. What does that mean? Redshift. That portion of the galaxy is moving away from us. Now it's picking up a second arm, like right there. You see that second arm right there? That one, let me stop this. Now look at this signal. The frequency, the resting frequency of hydrogen is 142405, which is right about here. So we have now this thing detected two parts of the galaxy. One lower frequency is moving away from us, redshifted. This one is a higher frequency. It's shifted to the right, which means that it's moving towards us, just like a train whistle, the Doppler effect. With this little system, you can see the movement. You can see how it shifts left and right, right there. Look at the movement right there. You see that? From the right to the left. And once again, it's picking it up. Very high amplitude. Then again, I have a 2.1 meter antenna and two LNAs. Okay, enough of this. Then mounts for these antennas, remember, they're like 100 pounds. They're very expensive. They're like 3,500. Shipping is $500. I mean, I love this, but there's no way I'm going to spend $4,000 on a system that can detect hydrogen. So I go, I'm going to build one myself. So I built this system right here for a couple $100, and I'm going to show you what the parts are in a minute. But first, look how it works. I can control this remotely. Oh, you see this piece of wood here? This is high technology, because at the end of this piece of wood, which is on purpose, there's that magnetic flux, the detector that I was telling you about that tells me where the telescope is pointing. It's $35. Okay. Let's talk about the, if you want to get a dish, let's talk about the feed horn. That's the antenna. That's the receiving part. That's the secondary mirror on our telescopes. Okay. The signal comes from here. It bounces up. It concentrates in here. This is the antenna right here, a piece of wire. That's all you need. And you can calculate it. It's got to be a quarter wave. Quarter wave's about 5 centimeters, actually 3.8 to 4 centimeters because of different situations that I don't need to know now. But that's all you need. The signal is not polarized. Polarized means some signals come vertical, some horizontal, some are circularly polarized. Hydrogen, you don't have to worry about that. This is the antenna right here. This is a duct reducer, $9. A duct reducer from 6 inches for your air conditioning to 8 inches with a cap. I never soldered metal before. Look how ugly this is. It's terrible, but it works. The base of this mount, universal bench grinder stand, 29 bucks. You drill holes, you stick it in the ground, you pour some concrete. But the heart of this mount is the front wheel hub bearing assembly for a Chevy Pontiac or a Buick. It's fantastic. When you place this on top of this, you can put a house and move it with your finger, and it works. For, okay, here's the duct reducer, $9. There's the cap. For the vertical stand and the horizontal stand, I got two fence posts for 17 bucks. This was 41. Actually, you can get it for 29 bucks. For soldering, I got this for $47. I never soldered before. YouTube. Now look at this antenna. I found this yesterday, actually. $0, 3 meters. Pick it up, please, in Southern California. I'm sure when you walk around your neighborhood, wherever you might live, you'll see a lot of these antennas, and owners want to get rid of them. If they do, pick it up. You'll be able to build this. Some cut pipe, some nipples, the flanges to attach this to the mount. And this is the greatest invention ever. I don't want to mix concrete. I want to set this and I want to mix concrete. Quikrete. You dig the hole, you pour this concrete dry, and then you put a gallon of water on top, and it's the best concrete. You don't have to mix. You don't need a mixer. It's done. I use it for my EME antenna. I use it for verticals. I use it for everything. Who would know? For the drive, I use this little motor because the axle, where is it? The hub bearing is so good that you really don't need a big motor. This thing will do for 15 bucks. For the vertical part, for 70 bucks, you can get a 30-inch linear actuator, and then just a couple of sprockets, chain, and you go to Pololu and you get a couple of simple motor controllers and connect it to a computer, any computer. My computer, I bought a $100 computer at the base, and I'm going to show you in a minute, at the base of the radio telescope, because you want to be as close to the radio telescope as you possibly can. And I, for weathering, for weather protection, I put it inside a $50 doghouse. It works great. Here we go. So here's the base, the cement. Here's the axle, the bearing right here. The motor with a very highly sophisticated weathering system, half a bottle right here. A chain right here. This is the linear motor, which is on this $17 post, and then $17 post, which is attached. So I'm showing you how I did it, but you can reverse engineer it easily. Here's another picture of the drive, the azimuth drive with the motor, the sprockets. It works great. The pipes right here. And this is the feed horn that I showed you before, with a very sophisticated weather protection system, a clear salad bowl. I've had it for a year, rain or shine, it works great. Okay, the sensor. Well, before I go here, let me show you. This is the sensor here. It's the 9-axis vibration inclinometer, high performance acceleration gyro angle digital compass for $34. Okay, it works. Now remember, even at 2.1 meters, the beam width, the accuracy, it's 7 degrees. So it doesn't have to be like visual telescope that you have to be within 4 pixels and a couple of arc seconds from your target. Not with this. So I mounted that on a non-magnetic pole, piece of wood, horizontally, and that gives me all the direction that I need. And the radio telescope is about 150 feet away from me in my backyard here in Glendora. So I don't have to get out of the house. I can play with it on one from here. So this sensor is $34. Comes you have to connect it through the through this cable. Remember that I told you that the LNA has a little switch built in, so you can switch from the antenna to the load, so you can get calibrating. Well, you can control it with this little $15 USB switch, on, off, boom, done. If you're going to use a computer without a monitor, you're going to need a display emulator for whatever display output you have, and they have it for all. If you don't want to do all of this and just want to do the elevation only, you can buy this for $26, and this will control the linear actuator, and you'll be able to control the tilt. And with the tilt always pointing in the same direction, you'll be able to build a drift scan picture of the sky over several weeks. This is a free program that I can send to you. This is by Dave Haley, WN9W. And you put the frequency, you put the diameter, and the efficiency, you should have all that. And it'll tell you that the 3 dB beam width, the pixel size for a radio telescope. Get that? It's useful. Possible science, as I said before, you can listen to it. You can create pictures of the sky over several weeks. You can do with a bigger antenna, and maybe with a tracking antenna, you can even pick up a pulsar, a strong one, but not. That's about all you can do with a radio telescope. And that's why a lot of you don't like it, and it's totally understood. But for the price, you get a system, you can tell people, hey, I have a radio telescope in my background. Why not? Okay, and finally, if you want more information, you can always join the Society of Amateur Radio Astronomers. You can Google that. If you want to buy the system already made, they sell it for $295. I'm a member. I have absolutely, they're great people, great help. Any questions you have, if you want to build an interferometer, and interferometers, you can have 2 antennas or 3 antennas together and actually make a bigger antenna with a better resolution. They'll be able to, they have professionals there. So useful material. If you don't want to build any of the antennas, you want to build just a funnel right here, you can go to this website here by Eric Trumbauer and Sehar Kashahar, and they'll teach you how to build this. This will work as well. You don't have to buy the grid antenna. Or this one here, you can go to this website. Somebody mentioned the great courses. This is a fantastic radio astronomy course by Felix J. Lockman, PhD. And I highly recommend it. Or you can go to EDX for free and take a course, which I think started yesterday. So you may be able to get in on it for free. The Radio Sky Science and Observations. With that, thank you for watching. Thank you to the Los Angeles Astronomical Society, John Wallace, Sarah, and ask any questions you want. I'm still not going to get paid, and if I don't know the answer, I'll either research it for you or make it up. Any questions?
Yeah, the movies that you make, how long are those? Over what period of time? Looks like it got day and night a couple of times. Are these like 48-hour?
Well, you're going to get a signal right away. When this thing starts working, you can pick up the signal within 10 minutes, but I just want to see the Doppler shift and drift scans, yeah, several days. You can make it. Sometimes I make it 3-4 days. You
Okay,
just let it rip. It doesn't matter if it's day or night. It doesn't matter if it's raining, as long as the computer is protected and the LNA.
I don't know if we can get used to that.
It's great. You know what? It's great when I'm getting the astronomy blues because it's been raining for 7 days, and at least I'm getting a little taste of astronomy through this. I'm getting signals from the center of the Milky Way from another galaxy, and I didn't spend a lot of money to do it. So I have I don't know if I can show you the radio telescope's working right now. It's gathering data. I just let it rip. I don't care. And then after 3 days, I make money. I say, oh wow, great, it's fantastic.
There was a question in the chat: would a ham radio Yagi for 1.2 gigahertz work as an antenna?
Just about everything. I mean, actually, it'll work. It'll probably work. I recommend maybe just building the feed horn that I described. That's going to be it's going to be more effective. But that antenna is going to work. I mean, this is a very powerful signal because it's actually stacking a lot of spectra. And so even if the signal is not that strong, because of the stacking, fast Fourier transform that it does, you're still going to get results. Obviously, if you improve, make it bigger, it's going to get better results. But yeah, you should try it. Yeah, get this thing and get the LNA and connect it, and I'm sure it's going to work.
But the Yagi doesn't have the directional sensitivity that a parabolic dish does. Am I right?
That's correct. But a Yagi does have sensitivity, but not as much as a parabolic dish. That's for sure. But it's still going to work. Yeah, and it depends on how many elements you have in that Yagi too. You gotta look it up. But yeah.
Another chat question is: how do you build an autocorrelator for 2 or more antennas?
That's going to take more time than we have tonight.
You should have a private conversation with Phil.
I mean, there are plans to build interferometers. You can actually get 2 of these antennas, and there are plans, and it's not overly expensive, and people are doing it. You got to remember that unlike visual astronomy, you're not going to make any discoveries here. But what you're going to do is you're going to dip your toes into radio astronomy. Whenever you hear about some radio astronomy discovery, you're going to begin to understand. And you can replicate some of the stuff that's already out there, meaning that because we're all interested in science, you don't need to believe, even a scientist. You can actually replicate it yourself. And this is the value of this. It's the value of outreach, the value of actually learning, not spending a lot of money, the value of this is a stepping stone. Some of you may want to go off the deep end and get a 25-meter antenna somewhere in New Mexico or something. Who knows? Some kid may be watching this and maybe may become a radio astronomer. The point is that you don't have to spend a lot of money. The technology's here to get some very interesting results, and you can do it right away. Like I said, I'm not an engineering genius or electronic genius. I mean, anybody can do this and get some interesting results.
Do we have any live questions? So we can unmute.
Yeah, I've got a live question, Daryl.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Greg. You're first.
Yeah. So this is a great elaboration on the shorter presentation you did a few months back, and I'm seriously considering doing a setup like this at a summer camp for all the boys and girls now that'll be going to camp. But I did want to ask, like, I have to explain what they're looking at, so I was listening pretty closely. And when you described previously detecting the motion of the galaxy, I thought of like one part of it moving away and one part of it moving towards us. But when I thought of it more, I'm like, no, that's not right. If the Milky Way were a giant Ferris wheel, we're all on the same Ferris wheel, there would be no relative motion in our galaxy to any part that we pointed at. And then you described in this presentation that you were detecting motion of the arms. Could you elaborate a little bit more? Or
With relation to our rotation, I didn't want to. Yeah, you're absolutely
Yeah.
correct.
So does that mean the arms are moving at different speeds?
Well, the arms are moving, at different speeds from the Earth.
Yes.
Tim, is that you? Go ahead.
Yeah. The
Please, chime in.
spiral arms in the galaxy rotate significantly faster than the stars do. The spiral arms are not structures of stars. They're waves of gas and star formation. So they move considerably faster than the stars. So relative to us, we will see motion of the spiral arms.
Well, you saw it. I mean, you don't have to believe us. I mean, I can go back and you can see it. I mean, you can detect it right here. I mean, this is science. This is not made up. You can see it right here. Where is it?
Further.
Okay.
Like a
This is
cheerleader.
a good example. Look at the movement from left to right. You see? Did you see that?
Yeah, no, I think I understand better now than I did during the
You
first
said
presentation.
You don't have to
detecting the
believe it. That's
motion relative to the stars or relative to the speed of the Earth, rotation of the Earth.
It's not the Earth. is it?
Relative to the stars.
relative to the star, relative to the
Yeah,
Earth,
that's what, relative to the stars.
relative to the antenna. Okay, that part of this
No, that's interesting.
of the sky is moving away from the antenna.
Well,
Okay,
let me see if I can say it correctly. Different components of the Milky Way rotate at different speeds.
Yes, that's correct.
And that way we're in one component, which is going around a star, and we're looking at a different component, which are the spiral arms, which are actually moving as waves through the stars at a different speed. And so we pick it up with a Doppler.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's
I know I'm restating it. I'm just trying to get it straight in my mind.
yeah. Look at this. This is not even pointing to. It's a wave. This is the galaxy arms right here, and see, this is what's great about this, because you don't have to believe scientists anymore. You can see it yourself. And in this case, it moves to the right. To the right, it's higher frequency. Higher frequency, it's like a train being compressed, and the sound, the whistle, and it's coming towards us. It's done.
No, it's a good explanation. I think in a layman's understanding, we would think of the
right there.
galaxy as rotating around as one unit. And what you're demonstrating and explaining is that's not what's happening. You're actually seeing the arms move at different speed relative to the frame we're in, which is the star or the
That is
stars
correct.
in the galaxy. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's great.
That's
Thank you.
what I meant. And then you can see this. This is in the. This is not. This is just free hydrogen right here, and it's still picking it up because this thing is really. You know, I went from minus 40, minus 60 dBs, all the way up to minus 26 and 25. So I souped it up for this little thing, and it's picking up free floating hydrogen away from the galaxy, and you can see it right here. And you can see the movement. And in this case, it's moving to the left, a lower frequency, it's redshifted. Boom, that portion is, and look at this. Another redshift. As it's getting closer, and there's Cassiopeia A right here, because it's all mixed up with the galaxy. Look at the movement from the left to the right. And now look at this. That's two detections. That's two arms. One is further away. I don't know which one is further away. I don't have that. But you can see that it's two detections right there. Boom. Look at this. As it goes down, as the amplitude decreases, it moves to the left, redshifted.
How much is that translates to the speed in actual speed? The difference in these two peaks.
I don't have that number. I wasn't prepared for that. I am not that advanced.
It's probably very small.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can't really detect it here, but this is the galaxy outline right here on this planetarium. That's Radio Sky. So as it's getting closer here, I haven't quantified it. I don't have the.
Okay.
What are all the little spikes that pop up there?
Interference from I'm a ham radio operator. I got whispers transmitters. If you don't know what they're beacons
Okay.
that have. If you saw my house, it looks like the U.S. Embassy in Iraq. I got like 20 antennas of all kinds.
So what's the resolution of these frequencies here? How precise can we?
You can get pretty precise. Not with this. This is the IF plug. IF. Not with this display, but if you get, you can connect this system to Radio Sky pipe, and then you can make some precise measurements. I don't have that prepared for this thing.
No, but here on this your slide here, on this x-axis, there's a frequency, and this is showing.
Well,
spikes.
it's this is.
What's the scale?
There is no scale in this. There's no meaningful scale for this display. To get a meaningful scale, then I need I would have to hook up Radio Sky pipe, which I have. It's another software, and then you can set the scale. I chose not to do that tonight, so I don't have an answer for you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But
Another
you
question was, I mean, you're detecting hydrogen and OH. Doesn't those
OH is 1667 megahertz.
Yeah, but doesn't those is not that part of any ordinary stars? So you don't detect stars. Doesn't you get those signals from the any star, or does it always come from galactic sources?
Okay, yeah, this is at a galactic scale, because these antennas are so small that the pixels, the beam width, as they call it, it's too wide. It's like 30 times the size of the moon. So in order to detect elements in stars or even faraway galaxies, you need either interferometry. In other words, you need an array of telescopes. You need Arecibo, which is gone, or FAST in China, or you need Green Bank. You can do it with 25 meters. There are some.
I see.
You need big aperture to get pinpoint accuracy.
So, but when you're saying that it's detecting extragalactic, some energy in some galaxy, but that galaxy is also pretty small, right? When you view it from Earth.
Well, the reason I was able to do that, yes, you're right. The reason I was able to do that is because CAS A, or I think it's Cygnus A, it's one of the most powerful radio signals.
It has to be very powerful radio source.
Extremely powerful. So yeah, you can do it with this system, and you can actually, with a 2.1 meter, 3 meter, 5 meter, you can actually sort of pinpoint it because it's so powerful. But I mean, to pick up a pulsar, first of all, this display won't do it, because this display it creates a stack over time. Pulsar, you need to start tracking it, and it's very weak. So that's my next project, to make this mount a tracking mount, and to be able to pick up a pulsar. And even at that frequency, I'm not going to be able to do it. A pulsar, you have you got to go like to 400 megahertz, which is very long wave length. So I got to use a different antenna and everything else. It's much more complicated. It's the beginner set.
Was that it for questions then? Anybody else? Okay.
Okay. So I just reposted the link for the drawing. So please register for the drawing if you have it.
Is Alicia here incognito?
Didn't see her.
I didn't see her either.
Maybe
Okay.
she's overslept again.
Well, they're working here too hard on that Europa project.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are 22 who've registered. There are 30 some odd people in the meeting. So if you haven't registered, you got about another 30 seconds to register, and I'll close it out.
Tim, if I said something wrong, please correct me, okay? Because
Yeah.
I'm an amateur.
Sounded okay to me.
Hi, can I make a small statement here, please?
Yeah.
My name's Adrian. I wanted to first of all state what this receiver is actually picking up is the emission from hydrogen clouds. You're not actually seeing individual stars or even collections of stars. The hydrogen line emission is only from these gas clouds, which compose the majority of the mass in the galaxy. And secondly, the OH hydroxyl line, the 1667 megahertz line, these are what are usually called hydroxyl masers or OH masers. And so these are regions around very new stars where water dissociated into hydroxyl radicals is being excited by ultraviolet rays from very young stars. And then they produce these fairly intense emissions at the 1667. There's also another line at 1665. So these now, if you detect hydroxyl maser lines, you're actually looking at possibly a very young star being formed. One of the regions where there's many of these hydroxyl lines is the cloud in the Orion Nebula. There's lots of these hydroxyl line emissions lines there. I was fortunate enough. Now, if you guys are interested, the Green Bank Observatory puts on an annual single dish school. And if you get accepted to it, you'll be able to use a 20-meter telescope that they use for educational purposes. This last year, I was able to take that class, and I was actually able to use that 20-meter telescope to make a picture of some of these hydroxyl line masers in the Orion gas clouds, which is kind of interesting at 1667 megahertz. So anyone that's interested, you might want to look that up and see if I'm not sure when the next class is, but they have these yearly, and so that's quite interesting. But in any case, yeah, the rotation of the galaxy you're seeing actually is the rotation of the gas clouds. That's the 1420 emission line, and so you're not seeing really anything else. So I just wanted to clarify that point. Thanks.
Oh, great, thank you.
Great. Okay, so I guess Spencer, you and I are going to have to take care of the
Okay, yeah, hang on just one
prizes
second.
again this month.
Yeah, so, all
Do
right,
you
let
know
me,
what prizes to give away, or is that
Well,
going to be a mystery?
I don't know what she has, so we're just it's going to be another blind win until until Alicia contacts you. You're not going to know what you won, but you won something.
That makes it more exciting. We should
Absolutely.
do that every time. Yeah,
It's,
no idea.
you know, the anticipation is going to be just you won't even know. It'll be great.
Yeah.
all right, so I'm gonna share a screen with the, okay, so dropping the names in here now. And so Dave Jackerson.
David's
Yeah.
first winner.
Wow.
Ah,
Okay, let's see. All right, next one. How many are we doing?
I think she usually has 6.
Okay. Next one is Neil.
Neil, don't go so fast. I got to write
Okay.
these down.
All right.
Actually, I know I can do something different here. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. David.
Woohoo.
All right. We're good.
Okay. Jose.
All right.
Jose.
Congratulations.
That's 3. Is that 3? Yeah.
Okay. Greg Thompson.
Hey.
Woohoo.
oh.
Maybe you'll get a hat, Greg.
I've been hoping.
All hang on.
Put in a request, which we don't know what you got yet.
All right, ready for the next one?
Yep.
Okay. So, Teresa?
And Claude, yeah.
No.
Claude.
Oh, it didn't come up in the
Yeah,
same
it
place.
did come, yeah, yeah. It did come up the same place, but it's that was the one I picked. Okay.
Okay.
And,
Yay, congratulations.
and Michael Singer.
Hey, wow, I won something.
Okay. Well,
All
we'll
right.
contact Alicia and let her know the winners, and she'll contact you and let you know what you won.
Yeah, Greg, send Alicia an email right away. I want a hat. I want a hat.
So let me
I'm
just
hoping for a radio telescope.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, wasn't
Give
that
one of
get
those
that.
away. For the price, we should give one away. Have
Hey,
them build
hey,
one.
how about we could raffle off everything in the basement at Garvey? You just have to come pick it up.
Including the heavenly bodies.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
okay.
Hey,
and-
David,
Yes.
you're doing the outreach now?
I'm in.
Evan?
I was appointed by our past president. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
And
so
I-
count me in. I always used to do the outreach before.
Well,
I miss doing that.
absolutely.
Well, it's still Evan is the lead on this, yes?
Yes, he is. Evan
Oh,
will still,
okay.
yes, he'll contact you. Yes.
Oh,
So
okay,
is
yeah,
it-
he must have
did
me on
Evan-
the list.
Did Evan contact you before, Jose?
Yeah, so he
Okay.
has me. He'll text me and stuff when he needs me.
Okay. All right, David's like backup and help because it's
Oh, okay.
it's going to get bigger. And also, if he can't be there, we have to have somebody available. So,
And we get the whole calendar posted on the
The website.
NASA night sky thing, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
you can go and sign up for, because I don't do them all, but I'll do any ones that are, within, 15 or 20 minutes of my place.
Hmm.
So before I forget, I just reposted the link for the Dark Sky Petition. Please sign it.
I'm signed in already now.
Okay. Yeah, if you already signed it, that's fine. Thank you. If you haven't, please do so.
hey, Jack, you haven't spoke up. You almost always say something about what we're doing here.
How
Yes.
warm is it in Denver?
There he is.
Oh, yeah, it's me. I'm still here. Still
Yeah.
alive, still squeaking, that recovering from a stroke here a couple of months ago. But I'm still, like I say, kicking and squeaking.
Okay.
Well, good. Sorry to hear that, though.
Yeah.
Glad you're okay, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, still on an even keel so far.
Good.
Sometimes I speak is scramblese, but
So what's different?
So, so Daryl, I'm gonna stop the recording now unless you want.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
All right, so we're officially ended on the meeting. Everyone's certainly welcome to just chat. If you have any questions about almost anything, I guess. We got a lot of good answerers here.